Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Wednesday. It's time for another 3-time structure build. And this time we're going to be taking a look at Weevil Underwood. So, our boy got a new skill. It does start at the beginning of the duel. You flip this over, and we get the insect infestation. So, the way that this skill works is any copies of Parasite on the field can no longer be tributed. If all monsters on the field are insect monsters, level 7 and higher monsters that are insects can attack directly, but just the ones that we control. So again, when we activate things that do things, opponent doesn't get any benefits. Once per duel, you may discard a card, then place one Parasite from your graveyard on the top of the opponent's deck, face up, as though it was added there by its own effect. So again, Weevil definitely doing the cheating. Definitely feels like an anime build. It's going to let us do the things. So, getting into the deck list, I did add 2 copies of Chainsaw Insect. One, because it's a huge 4-star. This is like the largest 4-star we have in the game now. It is 2,400. If this card battles at the end of the damage step, your opponent draws 1 card. Again, if I can take half or over half of your hit points in 1 round, I think you're entitled to that card. But it can also just be to deter attacks. We can just summon it and pass. So don't think that you're forced into an attack. Next up, we're going to be using 2 copies of the Howling Insect. The way this guy works, besides looking like a very angry grasshopper, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 insect with 1,500 or less attack from the deck. Now, I want cards like this for other types, okay? I can argue about why we need a Masked Dragon and why that's going to allow us to play Armed Dragon decks way better, or we could just talk about how a Howling Insect is really going to help out. I'll point out the card that you want to play in just a few moments. Next up, we need our boss monster. We need the Insect Queen. So this was a good reprint, especially like if you guys didn't have the structure decks. So this would be like very important for a lot of players. This card gains 200 attack for every insect on the field. Cannot declare an attack unless you tribute a monster card. Once per turn during the end phase, if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, special summon 1 insect monster token. It is a 100 by 100 in attack mode, Earth, and level 1. But again, we are going to try to curb this. And the good thing is, once she has that insect token, she can continually eat that token rather than eat your other monster cards. So this is kind of important. You need to know that. Next up, I am playing 2 copies of the Parasite. And it really is just to get the darn thing out there. And again, I love the look of this guy. Just kind of like get in there and like look at it. And it's definitely freaky. I love it. The effect here is a flip, shuffle this into your opponent's deck face up. If you draw this after it was added to your deck by its own effect, special summon it to defense mode. If you do, take 1,000 damage. All monsters controlled by the player that summoned this card by its effect become insect monsters. So this is the reason Iron Grit exists, is so that Gearfried will be immune to this effect, because they did want to play this very close to the show and give you guys that anime feel to it. I'll have to check the sets to see if we have the Insect Whistle, because I think that with Insect Whistle, you can set this up even faster on your opponent. Or later on, we'll probably just do something where we use Foolish Burial, toss it, go into the Insect Infestation, and just start the game winning. And if that's the point, we just play a couple copies of it and or the other card, and we'll just be fine. So that's there. And we could technically summon that with the Howling Insect. We could attack into our opponent's monster with it. It could be fine. And we could still get it to the graveyard for the Insect Infestation that way. Next monster, and another one I love to use with the Howling Insect, is the Pinch Hopper. Because again, I don't like paying for my darn Insect Queen. I just want to play it. So when this card I control is sent to my graveyard, and it doesn't care how. It could be a tribute, it could be destroyed, it could be an offering for a ritual, insert whatever. When it goes from field to grave, special summon an insect from the hand. And again, Insect Queen is the no-brainer here. So that's always fine. And then last up, we're going to use 1 copy of the Resonance Insect. I did think about bumping this to 2 and dropping the Pinch Hopper to 1. If this is sent from field to grave, you can add 1 level 5 or higher insect from the deck to the hand. If it is banished, you can send one insect from the deck to the grave, except same name. But the thing here is really like, what if I just get the Resonance Insect on the first turn and I want the Queen because I know I already have a Pinch Hopper in my hand? I know that I can set 1, set Howling, go to this, block some attacks, go into a Pinch Hopper, and then still get my Queen out to the field. Like, there's still some cool interplays here, but it is just a matter of, like, there needs to be, like, that one search for the Queen. Going into the spells and traps, I am going to use 2 Eradicating Aerosols. Again, this destroys all insects. Guys, if the only insect on the field right now is the Parasite and it's on our opponent's side of the field, they've already taken 1,000 damage. On top of the 1,000 damage, all their monsters are insects, so we might as well blow them all up. Now, if we go ahead and we summon the Pinch Hopper first, and then use the Eradicating Aerosol, while we're sending the Pinch Hopper to the graveyard along with our opponent's side of the field, we could potentially be playing out the Insect Queen or any one of our other monsters, Chainsaw Insect. This way there's sort of like a little rotation. Now, again, I would prefer that that goes into the Queen, but that's just because like you could attack with the Chainsaw Insect first, and then you can go into the Queen's attack second, tribute out the Chainsaw Insect, and essentially go for game on something like this. If the field was set up appropriately, maybe the Pinch Hopper's set there at the beginning of your turn because of the Howling Insect play on the previous turn. I'm not telling you guys how to play. I'm just saying, like, these are things I'm looking forward to. These are things I might be able to do. Additionally, we want to go full Weevil. So again, with the Parasite doing his job, turning everybody into bugs, let's make it so bugs can't attack us. So it doesn't matter how big your stuff is. It's just not going to work. Plus, when we go into the next phase of the infestation, we want the level 7 insect to be able to attack directly, allowing our Queen to bypass our opponent's monsters while their monsters sit there just totally impotent and can't attack us. So again, Insect Barrier, super good. How do we make sure that that's even better? You guys run 2 copies of DNA Surgery and just call bug anyway. And again, since everything's a bug, those Eradicating Aerosols work even faster. You don't have to rely just on your Parasite. And then last card, we got 2 copies of the Dust Tornado because, Dust Tornado, we need something to hit some back row. And being able to Dust Tornado during the opponent's end phase, set a DNA Surgery, and know that we can go ahead and do DNA Surgery immediately on our own turn makes for some very interesting plays as well. So right there, if you guys want to go ahead and take your screenshot, that's the entire deck in front of you. And now let's talk about some side deck options. I got all the other cards here. You guys could definitely bump into another Chainsaw Insect. You guys could use the Gokabor if you really wanted to. Insect Princess could be a good switch up. So during games 2 and 3, you could just change your strategy and go from the Queen to the Princess. At which point the Resonance Insect and the Pinch Hoppers are still going to do their jobs. Magnetic Mosquito, if you find yourself in a machine-based meta, or again, maybe you want to play a big anti-machine deck, you can take this whole DNA Surgery thing and you can go the whole gamut and change everything into machines. Also, the Metal Armor Bug was an option. Parasite Paranoids are another great reprint for this. As you can see, I kept my, is it going to show? My Speed Tournament Pack ones, because I'm all about the play set. Prickle Fairy is another great card that can help you, and also makes it so that your opponent cannot attack insect monsters, but unlike the Legendary Fisherman, it's not going to leave you open to attacks. Again, you guys could put an extra Aerosol, extra Insect Barrier, maybe the multiplication of ants, whatever you guys want. You guys can play in the other portion, including the Widespread Ruin, which is really cool because the Widespread Ruin this time is going to have the original unaltered art. So, tons of cool options that you guys can do. Again, for the tournament, we're going to be going, without side decks, just to make things move just a little more fluidly, because I value you guys' time, and it means a lot that you guys always come out and you guys watch these videos, and for that, seriously, thank you. Additionally, maybe you guys would like to thank us back. So if you guys enjoyed this, consider supporting the channel. It's very easy. Like, comment, subscribe, easiest things you could do. Share with your friends, of course. And maybe you want to help us buy some sleeves and cards. I'll leave the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. But that's always just an option. You never have to do it. Don't feel obligated. Guys, if you want to feel obligated to do something, do this. Go out, enjoy the rest of your day, and I want to see you guys again next time. Later.